Good morning. So today's topic is going to be private school versus public school. Um, I don't know if we've ever talked about this before, but we chose private school for our boys. They've gone to private school since they've been in school. I went to private and public school growing up. You just went to public school, right?
Yeah, I only went to public school, but I kind of wish that I was able to go to private school because when I got to college, some of the stuff that they were already doing, I struggled a little bit in college, and that's just because some of the stuff that they were doing, they were already introduced to it in high schools and stuff like that.
And he went to a private college.
Yeah, so it was more like a prestigious private.
Yeah.
It was hard. I ain't gonna lie, I struggled. But when I came down, after I transferred down to UMSL, which is University of Missouri St. Louis, I kind of excelled a little bit because the college that I went to previously was way harder than UMSL. So I think it's just about getting introduced to things and ideas at an earlier age. That way, when it comes down to it, you don't struggle as much.
Yeah. I went to both from kindergarten to no, probably from like third grade to eighth grade. I went to a Catholic private school. Um, and then my freshman year of high school, I went to a Catholic private school. Then I transferred to public school. And it did put me ahead of the game. What I'd say is if you're in a great school district, right? A good school district, by any means send your kids to, that school in that neighborhood public. But if you're not, and if you can afford it, I'd say send them to private. Private school isn't, now, I'm not going to say all. Uh, some private schools aren't as expensive as you would think they are. Um, our kids initially went to an independent private school, and those are a lot more expensive than the school.
Way more expensive. It was crazy how much they were charging.
Yeah, it was like college tuition.
I ain't gonna lie though, I kind of so they're at a Catholic school now, a Catholic private school.
Yes.
And in my opinion, I like the other school better, even though it was a little more expensive.
You like the independent.
If we was able to really afford it, I would rather put them back in that one versus the Catholic school. Because for one, we're not Catholic really, and it's just a whole lot of other stuff that they do that we just is whatever. But
are you talking about the religion aspect?
Yeah, just like the religion aspect of it too, and just the.
You know what though? I don't mind that because, granted, we don't practice religion at home. We don't. We're non-denominational. We don't practice. But I come from a very religious background, right? Like I learned about God. We went to church. We prayed. I was leaving it up to my kids to kind of decide what they wanted to do as they got older. But I'm glad that this school kind of broke the ice for that, right? Because I didn't really know how to introduce it without making them do it. But this way, they're interested in learning about it. Yeah, they don't have to practice when they get older, but at least they'll have that option and they'll know that option is there. Right. That's kind of how I feel about it.
And seeing as though that I work at public schools now, don't get me wrong, some of the kids are super smart. But I think still with the public schools, you have to deal with a lot more behavioral issues than anything.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the ratio is between teachers and students, as far as how the private school works. And
I think it's regular by law. It's regular.
Okay, so I don't
regular
know.
ratio, but typically private schools will have smaller classes.
Yeah.
But by law, they don't have to. They just have to honor the student-teacher ratio.
And I think that's just because you have to pay for it.
Yeah, they have less kids.
So they do have less kids in the classroom.
Now, this school has a bigger class size than their previous school. And I think it is because their school is more, the older school is more expensive. Um, but I think just in private school, you're allotted a lot more opportunities. You get to see different things. Like when I went to private school, we were offered dance class and violin class, and we learned about salsa and foxtrot, and we learned how to play the flute and the violin, and we just got a lot more extracurricular activities than what was allotted in a lot of my friends' public schools growing up.
Yeah, I do think private schools offer or even have a vast majority of more resources than public schools. But don't get me wrong though, don't get it twisted, because public schools, whatever they need, from my experience working down there so far, like they're able to get stuff too. So don't let this like the resource thing fool you, because public schools have ton of resources, and I mean ton of them.
Yeah, I think it depends on the district you're in as well, though,
so
and what your district has.
Yeah, they have a ton of resources. But I just think that the private school system,
and then you know your kid too. I just felt like with all of the behavioral issues and stuff that go on in public schools, it's just a different kid that goes to private school.
And
right?
I'm saying there aren't behavior issues
in
private school, because I'm pretty sure that you get your some of them.
You do,
for sure. Do. And we ain't gonna just pretend like private schools are just saved and sanctified, because they're not. They're not.
You have your issues there too as well. And with us being a black family, a lot of times in private schools, your kids are one of the few black kids. So I guess it just depends on what you want for your kid, right? Like what's important for your kid. We teach our kids about culture. We do Black History Month stuff at home. I mean, not saying that they don't do it at their school, because they do. But I also feel like teaching starts at home. So a lot of the stuff that I want instilled in my kids, we teach at home, because I just feel like the real life important stuff isn't taught at school, honestly.
But anyway, we thought we would just chime in on the public school system versus private school system. And let us know in the comments which one you guys prefer.
Yeah, drop in the comments what do you guys think and why you guys think that way.
Until then, we'll catch you on our next morning vlog. Peace.